Hello, my name is John Galarson, and I'm the General Manager of our retail and fashion verticals here in the U.S. I joined Infor 5 months ago, having spent 20 years of my career in the retail software space. It is my pleasure to kick off this retail industry overview where we will discuss the key trends affecting our industry and provide an overview of our key cloud software solutions. We will also take you through our unique implementation and deployment capabilities, which we call Agility. You may hear some call it 60-30-10. In my first few months here, I've been able to speak with many of our customers and prospects, and they're all telling me the same thing. Retail has never been more dynamic. It's always been dynamic, but never more dynamic than it is right now. The need to instantly identify trends through artificial intelligence and then be able to actually do something about it, maybe even through machine learning. The need for resilient and flexible sourcing in a world that is increasingly focused on sustainability and ethical manufacturing. They've also told me we must have real-time online supply networks that create more value through connectivity and collaboration. And then, of course, related to the current global situation, that their stores have changed significantly. Their store associate responsibilities have bared the brunt of these changes. Associates' roles have become increasingly complex with pick, pack, and ship responsibilities, assisted selling as always, and then even enforcing regulatory requirements. Talent, science, and workforce management need to be front of mind from when it comes to the store associates. We'll touch on many and maybe even all of these things today. Now I would like to hand over to Vincent Barnes, who is going to address some of the key challenges our industry is facing.
Hello, my name is Vincent Barnes and I focus on strategy here at Infor Retail. I'd like to discuss the key trends that are facing the retail industry today and our perspectives on how we can turn these into some great opportunities going forward. I'm sure everyone will acknowledge that the COVID-19 pandemic has dramatically affected all of our lives and created some significant challenges to the whole industry. With consumers turning to e-commerce during the lockdown, and with many of us switching to larger, less frequent shopping journeys and opting to remain safe at home, the pandemic has generally accelerated the change in consumer behavior in embracing digital technologies to fulfill their needs. Of course, many analysts and industry experts have been saying that we have to prepare our businesses for this new normal. But our point of view here at Infor is that with retail, there has never really been a normal. Retail has always been a dynamic industry, evolving with the times, adapting with changes in society, new trends, new technologies, and investing where the opportunities best present themselves. If we look back over the past 100 years, with the emergence of the department stores, for example, in the 1930s, which transformed retail into a very popular and important social activity, and then the development of the large shopping malls in the 1950s and the 1960s, providing convenient shopping experiences to everyone. And then, of course, the dominance of the large chain stores since the 1970s, which are still very much relevant today by providing great value to all households. Since then, since the mid-90s and the broader availability of the internet, we're seeing tremendous growth of e-commerce and online shopping marketplaces. All of these advances have provided huge opportunities and great value to the consumer, as well as powering the huge growth of retail across the world today. Retail is now dynamic, global, highly competitive, complex, omni-channel, and a huge market requiring innovation and change in everything we do. Over the past 5 to 10 years, the modern digitally connected consumer has been the main driving force behind most retail strategies and IT investments. We as consumers have embraced mobile digital technologies to make our lives more convenient and more fun. We're sharing these experiences with our friends, choosing the best products most aligned to our lifestyle needs, and selecting the brands who can deliver goods at our convenience anywhere and anytime. And of course, the alternative brand is just 1 or 2 clicks away. There's no doubt about it, a great deal of hard work has been done over the last 10 years, updating our front-end systems such as e-commerce, order management, loyalty, service, to deliver that consistent customer experience. And these investments certainly have paid off as they've enabled many businesses to continue to serve the customer even when the stores were forced to close. We can all predict that the speed of digital technology development is only going to increase, and we'll have to constantly innovate in order to deliver that relevant and unique brand value. The recent crisis has no doubt been an indicator of some potential turbulent times ahead. In an industry that is totally dependent on global trade, we have to confront the fact that there are so many disruptive factors that could affect our businesses in the future, such as disagreements over sovereignty, trade wars, import restrictions, plus lack of agreement on major issues such as sustainability, emission control, and of course, climate change. With that in mind, the key challenge facing us is that we have to be prepared for a more uncertain, more disruptive, and potentially more volatile future. To prepare for this, we have to build agility, resilience, and velocity into our businesses in order to continue to serve the ever more demanding consumer in a highly competitive global market. So going forward, our attention must therefore turn to our back-end processes and systems, specifically our siloed operations, our supply chain and business networks, and our facilities and assets and workforce. We have invested in the supply chain in the past, but this was designed for a retail business that was relevant 10 or more years ago, with a focus on efficient replenishment through regional DCs. And of course, our other channels such as e-commerce, B2B, were managed as separate business silos or even outsourced to third parties. Our approach then was managing these as projects, i.e. defining a very specific use case and cost saving, establishing a one-to-one relationship, and then locking these down maybe with a contract, and then reviewing on an annual basis. We also applied the 80-20 rule to these initiatives, collaborating with only a few key suppliers and logistics providers, and never fully achieved the full potential benefits. As a result, most supply chains run as designed, with almost no flexibility, and with only point-to-point integration, there's no real collaboration, resulting in a supply chain that cannot react dynamically to the changes that are certainly going to confront us in the future. We now have to look at the whole supply chain and develop a holistic end-to-end network, from concept creation to customer fulfillment, and collaborate with all partners in real time. We have to forecast and plan demand for inventory across the entire network in order to reduce excess stock and wastage, as well as achieve the best value for our customers. Monitoring the movement of inventory and shipments has to be in real time to allow the network to quickly react to disruptions and find contingencies when needed. Retailers should also look at their physical warehouses and their DCs and their stores to fully leverage these great local assets to ensure that they can be used flexibly. Along with an agile workforce, they have to become multi-purpose and switch activities when demand requires it. At Infor, we're extremely well placed to help retailers with many of these challenges. With our leading cloud-based demand planning, supply chain network, and workforce management solutions, we have the unique capability to deliver quickly and securely. And by providing multi-tenant SaaS deployment, retailers can focus on their business efficiencies while taking full advantage of all future functional innovations.
Infor thinks of retail solutions across three main categories: planning, supply chain, and workforce. From Infor perspective, it starts with our end-to-end planning platform that enables a real-time planning and collaboration suite that's driven by a machine learning forecast to ensure that sales, margin, and inventory targets are aligned to how the business is performing and trending. Being able to accomplish this across an omni-channel organization is also critical. Understanding the omni-channel needs of the business and how that might be different across time and how that might be different by individual location. So the Infor solution allows for a tops-down, bottoms-up, middle-out process to create those targets and those directions for the downstream process. Once those targets are published, the assortment planning team, the merchants, are then able to choose what style, colors, and SKUs should be in their assortment all the way down to the individual store level. So with our approach, we use machine learning to understand and tease out all of the performance of attributes, looking at things like color and silhouette and fabric and flavor and scent and all of those different types of things to really guide the merchant into how many of those you should be looking for when you're making your buys for that particular season. understanding how those things are performing and then aligning that with the store need is also critical. We're not requiring you to use last year information to repeat the mistakes of last year, and we're not requiring you to create clusters and to operate at a cluster level. We think that using machine learning, we can empower you to create unique, localized assortments by store, but also using automation and making it very simple and easy to use. Through this assortment planning process, there will be an assortment recommendation that's made using the optimization and how it aligns to the financial targets that were created, and also aligning that to the space constraints that you might have across your different locations. And again, doing this across the omni-channel business. So you might have a different need in stores with different climates, but you also have, maybe everything that's available on the web as an example. Once those orders are created and sent over to purchasing, now it's about allocating that merchandise out. So we're using a combined allocation replenishment solution so that the optimization can basically optimize the inventory across the life cycle of that product. So no longer do you have to choose between pushing the merchandise through allocation or pulling the merchandise through replenishment and choosing different methodologies and how am I going to calculate the need. We're actually doing it seamlessly across the life cycle and using the same optimization science. So that's a very powerful and an innovative approach. You're now required to just manage by exception. You don't have to set up like items. Machine learning will do that automatically, creating a forecast for all that new product automatically. When there's promotions, we're going to take all the promotional data into consideration. We're going to also take into consideration on the supply chain side the cost of buying merchandise, to moving merchandise through the supply chain, all the costs of receiving it, picking, packing, and shipping it. We're going to consider other kinds of constraints around the capacity in the warehouse and so on. And so that's a critical component of using AI to deliver inventory reductions and ensuring that we're making the most profitable decision across your entire supply chain. Then Infor Nexus is going to help you monitor all of those goods that are in movement. Everything that's in motion, you'll be able to see within the Infor Nexus platform. From the factory to the ocean to receiving it in a port, whether it's on a truck or a rail or an airplane, we're going to be able to see and monitor those things. Any kind of disruptions that occurs, machine learning will then revise the estimated time of arrival and send that back over to allocation replenishment. You can collaborate in real time through Infor Nexus and share information back and forth around forecasts, around inventory plans, around any kind of schedules and updates and constraints, being able to share that information in real time. Also, Infor Nexus delivers a financial component whereby all of that information that's being shared on the platform, Infor Nexus now can do a three-way or an in-way match to automatically pay invoices. So we're automatically scheduling payments there. Also on this network, no longer do suppliers have to secure a letter of credit. We can actually finance right directly on the platform. So, and then lastly, once that merchandise is now en route and arriving in the stores, you need people and associates in the store to receive that merchandise. It also is also the same kind of labor that is needed in the warehouse. Infor's workforce management solution delivers an application that is both across forecasting, labor planning, labor scheduling, performance management, task management, and doing all of that on even a mobile device. So now that you can look at all the different types of transactions that are occurring, whether it's at the front of the store and ringing up registers, or whether you're in the paint department mixing paint, or whether you're in appliances or in seasonal, as examples, all of those have different types of labor needs and different skill sets. Infor's workforce management will align the right people and optimally secure the amount of resources that are needed throughout the day and actually create that schedule and doing that in a very seamless and efficient way. So hopefully caught a glimpse of how Infor can deliver a 10x return on investment through automation and efficiencies using AIs, machine learning, and optimization. We're going to help you grow sales, grow profitability, improve inventory positions, whether that's a reduction or maybe just improving imbalances that are occurring in the supply chain, and also delivering a set of applications that are going to be allowing your organization to be much more efficient and much more productive, freeing up your people to do more value-added activities that will also benefit you as a retailer. Hope you caught a glimpse of all of that, and thank you for your time.
I would now like to discuss how we bring all these great solutions together in a modular and digestible roadmap in order to build agility, resilience, and velocity into our back-end processes. The go-forward priorities can best be summarized on this single diagram. Firstly, we have to acknowledge that the future supply chain has to be thought of as a broad end-to-end network of suppliers, partners, 3PLs, and all locations, which all have to be connected in real time to provide complete transparency. With every party accessing a single source of data and insight and able to react and adapt at the same time and manage a shared risk in a collaborative manner. Let's look at this in more detail. Planning and budgeting have been standard processes for many years, but in this changing omni-channel future, we need to extend planning to all sales channels, regions, and markets, and share with all parties on the entire network. We also need to identify where are the risks and where we have to plan for contingencies. For example, if a factory report were to close, how could we adapt and still ensure the successful launch of that next important promotional campaign? So planning is no longer a beginning of the year or beginning of the season activity, but an ongoing proactive alignment of demand and the management of inventory orders and shipments across the network. The foundation of any good plan needs to be an accurate forecast of demand at all levels of the network. We need to go beyond traditional time series sales forecasting and use machine learning to identify demand for production, for shipping, for logistics and distribution, as well as sales channels. Using machine learning techniques such as graph networks, factorization machines, risk contagion, and sensitivity analysis, we can determine not just better forecasts, but also where are the inherent risks in the supply chain and how best to mitigate them. Leveraging cloud technologies, we now have the ability to process vast amounts of data at the atomic level to power these deep insights. 80% of the data most retailers need sits outside the four walls of their business. With in-memory computing and modern data lake capabilities, we can now access all network data and organize this quickly to power these insights and make decision-making faster and more certain. With a detailed understanding of demand across your complex sales channels, you need a more agile and flexible fulfillment capability. Accurate and central visibility to a single pool of inventory across the network is now essential, as is the need to best identify the fastest and most cost-effective means of fulfillment. Let's fully leverage our store inventory by offering click and collect and pick, pack and ship directly from our local stores. And of course, a modern order management solution must also support fulfillment directly from suppliers. Every retailer will have been reviewing their entire store and warehouse estate recently and determining where optimization and consolidation may be required. Of course, for many retailers, the backbone of their sales revenues still emanate from stores, and they remain the most cost-effective means of serving the customer. Remember, shopping is a social activity, and we can't ignore the importance of representing your brand value and serving the local community. Warehouses too have to be agile and multi-purpose. For example, in times of disruption, a distribution center during the day and an e-commerce fulfillment center during the evening. This will all require a multi-skilled and flexible workforce, as in addition to serving these new activities, your store staff have to ensure the health and safety of your customers. In summary, retail will continue to evolve and remain a very important and dynamic consumer-led industry. We have to leverage digital technologies, update our back-end supply chains, and build a business that is ready for the next exciting phase of retail evolution. Thank you very much for watching.
you heard all the investments we made in our industry-focused Cloud Suite solutions. I will give you a brief overview on the investments we're making in services to help our customers realize the value and take advantage of all the innovations we're making to the product. Last year at Inforum, we launched Infor Agility with one sole purpose: provide faster time to value for our customers. I'm happy to share that we made tremendous progress in the last year. We had three key tenets when we launched Infor Agility. One, we never start a project with a clean sheet of paper. We always bring Infor's point of view for that industry to help customers get started with the project. Second, we focus on giving quicker wins or go-lives to our customers, embracing agile principles versus big bang and prolongated projects. Third, go-live is just the start of the journey with our customers, not the end. In order to make those tenets successful, we've invested in a few things. We launched next generation implementation accelerators that comes with industry process models, tools, templates, methodology that goes with it, and also automated testing, task subscriptions, task services, so that our customers can quickly regression test our applications. We also created a very unique framework called 60-30-10. This framework allows our customers to look at all the business processes that are needed to support their business, yet focus on the processes that are most critical for them. We firmly believe not all business processes are created equal. So the 60-30-10 framework helps our customers focus on the 60% that are core, that they can use out of the box or adopt out of the box, and then really focus on the 30, which is configured or tweaked, and 10 that are unique. We've successfully used this model. In fact, some of our customers were able to achieve 90% out of the box using the 60-30-10 framework. We know that Go Live is just the start of the journey, so we created managed services offerings to help our customers once they're in the cloud to continue to take the innovations we're putting into the product. In addition, we launched Infor Process Intelligence, which allows our customers to measure, to monitor their business processes with their actual transactional data, and then assess the processes that they have to continue to improve, automate, and do a continuous improvement process. Finally, we've invested and trained several Infor and partner resources, and we continue to train them so that they can come and help our customers take advantage of all the investments we're making in Infor Agility. Thank you for your time.
Mike, Vincent, Rama, thank you so much. I found that very informative. You guys certainly covered off on many things. I mean, everything from network collaboration to end-to-end supply chain visibility, artificial intelligence, machine learning. Very, very informative presentation. So thanks for sharing all you did today. If anyone has any follow-up questions, would like to engage more in discussions, please reach out to any of us here at Infor, and they'll make sure you get connected to the right person. Thanks again.